meeting Archie and Zachary, and I work for a company called Jack Wills. I'm their HR director.
I'm Steve. Head of the family. Well, Sarah allows me to be, and I work in banking. From Tina Patel, who's the architect for the lovely annex that we've had done. She wanted to, I wanted to get a builder, and she suggested a couple of people. And to be honest, I always wanted to get a minimum of 3 or 4 quotes, and I did know someone. So really, getting City Lofts was just to try and make sure I had a right ballpark figure. So that's kind of where it started from. So. Inadvertently, we've taken on City Lofts, and the reason I did is because out of the 3 people that came around to quote, I found them, well, certainly the most professional, but more importantly, the most creative and the most understanding about what our needs were. So though I got City Lofts from Tina, who did a brilliant job on the drawings, it was never my intention or Sarah's intention to take them on, but I was so impressed with the initial meeting that we had that I decided to give them the business. We know a really good friend of ours who's a painter and decorator. He knows a builder, so we honestly were going to go with him. I just wanted to make sure it was the right kind of price. But he came in, and though he was a nice guy, he just did not have the same professional approach. One little thing, which seems a silly thing, but for me it meant a lot. When City Lofts first came round, they gave us a journal that and he said, anything you're worried about, anything you want to talk about, this is your journal. It's got City Lofts on it. It's a really nice book, and just that approach of caring. Meant so much more. The other 2 people that came around were just very matter of fact, didn't really empathise, and what I liked initially from when we met Cully was the fact that he looked at the building and said, well, actually I think we could do this, I think we could do that, gave me different thoughts rather than just the architect's drawing that we had. They gave me some different thoughts that then we discussed as a family, and it's turned out much better than we ever thought was possible. So that's the reason why we took City Lofts rather than the other 2.
I think the other thing for me is they were just hugely respectful of the family and our privacy. So never ever did you hear any kind of loud music. We've got some lovely neighbours next door, but they were really impressed as well with how respectful they were. Even when they were having their lunch, they were kind of just so discreet about it, and that was a big difference for me. Definitely, in comparison to other builders we perhaps had in the past. Yeah,
we haven't had builders like this before. What was so impressive with City Lofts, and particularly Cully, was the fact that he thought of things that I hadn't thought of and the architect hadn't thought of. I suppose the biggest example would be the fact that there was an existing building on the annex, and they were going to build, and the quote was to build on top of their foundation that was already there. He'd been thinking about it for 2 or 3 days, and he rang me and he said, I'm just not happy, Steve, with building this on this foundation. And he said it's going to take an extra week. It's it's going to be a little bit more money, but I'll cover half of that for you. We can carry on with building it on what we've got, or we can start again. It's completely up to you. But if it was my home, I wouldn't be happy. And it just kind of made sense. I had a look at it, and I thought he's right. And I don't think any builder would do that. I've certainly not witnessed that kind of care before. He had that pride in his work that I could see even before they started. So that was an example, literally within the first week, when they were starting building, that he came and he said, I'm not happy with how this is going to progress on this foundation. So he just ripped the whole thing down and started again. So that's a real example. There's lots of examples I could give you about what we've actually now got in the annex that we wouldn't have had before. He also I had a really good understanding of what I wanted, and I think every stage he wanted to try and fit that in with me, so that we could get what we tried to achieve right from the outset. So he project managed it, so I didn't need a project manager, but he was here every couple of days. If I needed to see him in the evening at 9 o'clock, he'd come over and see me in the 9 o'clock in the evening. And I've never met this guy before, he literally, this was like 2 weeks in. So it was that kind of stuff, and his humbleness and his professional approach that Sarah and I both, wanted. So I think I enjoy doing it. Hopefully I get the colours in, so I've kind of felt what I wanted already. What I loved about a City Lofts was the fact that they've got everyone that does everything. So when we needed something different, if we did need something put up, example flat, I wanted a big size TV on the wall, no wires, etc. But they could do all of that. So we didn't have to go out and get anyone else, to get a different electrician to do it, get a TV guy. So they always had someone to do everything. But what I loved about Cully is the fact that when I talked about the design I thought I had, we talked about it together, because I got a real feeling from him that he gets it, and he had a really good taste. Some people haven't, have they? Some builders are great builders, but they just don't have that creative thinking.
He had a really high taste level, I would say.
To the end, I was letting him choose the handles, the fittings, because I was, the lights when we finished, the internal lights, I let him do it, because I had big confidence that his taste was our taste. They've only finished in September, and I've already recommended City Lofts to 3 of my colleagues at work, 2 of which are, I think, have signed up. And I'm very bad at recommending people, because I'm a bit of a stickler for getting a real professional job. So that's not usual for me. So if you were asking me 3 reasons, I would say. I would say 3 as yours, Sarah. I would say the first one is their total professionalism on everything they do. The second one is just well, it should be the first, I suppose, but the quality of work is just phenomenal. And the third one is, I suppose, I know if anything went wrong, I could phone Cully, pick up the phone, ring me back, and something would be sorted. Not that anything went wrong, but any time I've rung him since, and we just needed some blinds up to finish off, he rang me straight back, came in and put them up. So it's I suppose it's that knowing that you've got a great job, but you've got some after-sales service for me would be my 3 things.
I don't know, I think probably I can't better that. I think maybe the only other thing I would say is reliability, because a lot of builders are hugely unreliable. We have a number of that we've worked with in the past, and I think having that respect and just total dependence, but we knew that the job would be done, and I don't think we ever worried about that. I have to probably say, and I was never a fan at the beginning, because I thought, oh, Steve's going for too complicated, but I think the brick really makes the finish in there. So the brick on the kitchen, but I think the overall design is just spot on, and I think it's made such a great use of space. But what was quite a tiny garage is now into quite a nice little self-contained flat.
The first one is the view and the massive window in a quite a confined space, which is bigger than I ever thought it would be. You can get a proper big double bed in there, but the view at the back and having how they've done that window is just amazing. And the second would be from the outside. You can actually, it looks like a double fronted house ex-pub, which is what it is now, and it looks like to me as if it's never been added on. So you know, it doesn't look like an extension. The brickwork and how they've got the original bricks to match up with the existing bricks, it's just